so the reigning U.S. Open champion, the 1986 Player of the Year, Walter Ray Williams Jr. And here we go with the very first shot in this year's Long Island Open. Shooting on the left lane, this right-hander. And the 30-year-old from Austin, Texas. Big strike. Here's the man that last won at Erie. Became the king of the hill. So the 33 World Horseshoe Pitching Champion evens up the match, Bo.
Chris, the style we're so familiar with, Walter Ray Williams Jr. on just a tremendous roll, one of the hottest streaks in the history of pro bowling, just in perfect position there. Look at that left shoulder back, everything going straight down the line. An ideal result on the first shot.
His 51st television appearance. And it's his 5th TV appearance of 1993 for last year. Three-time winner is Robert Lawrence. To the left as far as he can go on the approach. All right, let's look again at his style.
The only true power player in the championship round today, Robert Lawrence. Steady head, look at his eyes riveted on the target. Then he opens that swing up at the top, a full extension, then he's going to drive all the way through with that long contemporary arc, and he catches it all. The match is even, both players perfect through 2 frames.
The youngest of 7 children, 5'10", 175. The baseball card collector, mainly Roger Clemens, fireballer. Seven-time champion, Walter Ray. So we're all even. Walter Ray Williams, one of the tour's most versatile players, still has parts of his game he works on.
When I'm practicing at home, I like to practice on as many different conditions or just play different parts of the lane. Even though the shot may be at second arrow, I try to play the way outside or play way inside and just work on as many different parts of my game as possible.
Chris, and I feel he's one of the most versatile players that's ever come along in the game. He can do it all. He's perfect through 3.
We have 7 strikes thus far. Don't go away. 3 by Lawrence, this by him. We're in Sayville, New York, located on the south shore of Long Island, and where there's a shore, believe me, there's usually a marina. We're at the Sayville Bowl, Long Island. From Texas, Robert Lawrence, the United States Open champion, has strung 3. His opponent, Walter Ray Williams, has strung 4. Now to tie it up. This shot on the right lane. And that's the story. Robert Lawrence has an explanation for why his game is picked up on this East Coast swing.
Well, 3 weeks ago, we got some new bowling balls and the reactive resins, and I'm learning how to throw them, and it's really loosened up my arm swing, and bowled really well the last 3 weeks, and I said 5 weeks ago that I was going to start coming around and get ready for the U.S. Open, and I think I'm there.
And he got away with it in the 4th frame there. He sent it real wide. The reactive resin balls hook a little bit more than previous balls in the dry area. He's made it 4 in a row.
And now he leads by 10. 5 baggers. Count them. Don't they look beautiful, though, those X's?
Well, Chris, an ideal lane condition to bowl on, ideal weather as we came on the air, and great champions in the Final 4 today, so anything can happen.
5 strikes. by each professional. Keep going, guys. Go all the way. It'll suit Bo and me just fine.
You're right, Chris. Let's see how they're playing the championship pair. Just ideal conditions, almost like what we'd see in league conditions at home. And when the players get that type of condition, they're just going to kill them. Walter Ray to the right. He's going to slide around the center. His target's going to be right around the first arrow. He's going to lift straight up through it.
Walter Ray is halfway. True Value Hardware, $100,000 for a perfect game. In other words, 6 more, Walter Ray, you're that much richer. Same is true for Robert Lawrence. He has 5 in a row, now in the 6th frame. The 10-pin.
Lawrence with a good shot, trying to answer 6 in a row by Walter Ray Williams Jr. The solid 10. You see that 6-pin just launched around the belly of the 10-pin.
So Robert Lawrence trails by 11 pins.
Lawrence pounding that ball with the rosin. Then he uses a little powder on the thumb. He's got a very sore thumb. He's been practicing a lot lately to get out of a slump. And he's obviously out of it. Now look at how he takes the lanes way to the left, slide to the left, and he'll be around the 3rd arrow, throwing the big hook. Just a great champion, the U.S. Open champion here in the 7th frame.
Right back where he was. Now the spotlight here on Long Island is on 6'2" Walter Ray Williams Jr. He needs 5 more. Next week we're in Windsor Locks. Once there he had 3 300s.
Last year, he bowled 3 300s, Chris, as you said, the Tums Classic, as he led that tournament, lost to the champion Jimmy Keith. However, Deadeye has been on a tear this year. Very obvious by 7 strikes in a row to start the opening game.
Now he needs 4. He sits down and Lawrence is back up.
With 8 strikes in a row, Walter Ray does not have this game in hand. Robert Lawrence started with 5, left the 10 pin, struck in the 7th frame, still has a potential 279. You know, at this point, it's good for Walter Ray Williams to have Lawrence pushing him. Look at that scoreboard. Lawrence with only 1 frame was spare, the 6th frame, potential 279. Walter knows that he still has pressure on him. The game is not locked up. The pressure's still on.
He won the World Horseshoe Pitching title as a senior 5 times. The junior world title 4 times. Now Lawrence.
Geez, partner. That was probably as good a shot as he's thrown all game. Too much power, the solid 8. Watch this pin action. The ball will enter the 1-3. The 2 pin or the head pin will interfere with the action of the 5, and it'll go straight back off the 8. What a tough break at an inappropriate time.
Robert Lawrence really looking good. However, getting those single pin spares has not stood him in good stead. But the main obstacle thus far has been this man. 8 in a row. Here's the 9th frame shot. Just did get the 10 pin. Bo?
The only thing that stopped Walter Ray Williams in the last 2 weeks has been the solid 10. He kicked it out there in the 9th frame. Now he has the game and match locked up. The only thing left for Walter Ray Williams Jr. is $100,000 for 3 more consecutive strikes.
Number 10, 2 to go.
There have been 5 previous perfect games in professional bowling history at this level. One on the Seniors Tour to make 6 by Gene Stuss. Walter Ray trying to make it the 7th.
Okay. It's very simple. Robert Lawrence is applauding his opponent. Everyone is. You are, I'm sure, at home. He has, ladies and gentlemen, 11 in a row. Look at that intensity. So, he's won.
If you don't think he's nervous, nobody's ever thrown a ball that makes him more nervous than this.
That was a shot for $100,000. $299. Don Johnson, if he's watching, can relate to that. The Firestone Tournament of Champions. Nelson?
Well, Johnny Petraglia had 11 in a row on the island a few years back, Chris, back in the 80s. Johnny Petraglia and shot a 298. So on Long Island, we have not had a perfect game. We've had a 298 and a 299. Robert Lawrence, who bowled an excellent game himself, with a spare will be in the 240s.
What fun it would have been to give away True Value's $100,000 to such a fine young gentleman. And a great bowler.
Chris, Del Ballard Jr. said it at the start of the telecast. It's going to be high scores today. There are 6 more games to be bowled yet, pal. The 300 is still a possibility when you have ideal conditions like that, like this, and great champions.
All right. Waving to the crowd. What a gentleman Robert Lawrence is. 299 to 245. Only by a single pin did we fail having a perfect 300 game by Walter Ray Williams Jr.
The 6 pin, the second pin on the right-hand part of the screen, doesn't quite have enough impetus to pop out the 10. Watch his reaction. This is a $100,000 shot.
$11 in a row, and then on the 12th, the 10 pin. It's the name of the game, 10 pin. Oh, goodness. Anyway, ABC Sports' presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message.